Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I just want to double check that my sound is good. Okay, I think I should be good. It looks like all is well and it's coming through just fine. So yeah, let me know when you jump on. I know I'm like super early tonight. What's up with that? But yeah, I just went ahead and put Alex down. So but yeah, if you're just jumping on, then welcome to Laura's Stamp Pad. We are doing the December 2022 online card class. And I'm so excited because I started this last December. So, like, I don't know, was last year my 1 year anniversary? Or, I'm sorry, last month? Or is this month I guess it would be this month. But that's still super cool, and I'm excited to be doing this for 12 months now. And yeah, it's I've really enjoyed these classes and being able to share with you guys a little bit more hands-on. I'm more of like a visual person, and so yeah, I like to talk and do versus like typing things out and stuff like that. I've always enjoyed videos more than like writing my blog and writing out instructions. But hi, Diane. Welcome. Excited to have you on. Everyone be sure to give a shout out whenever you jump on. Hi, Colleen. Snowy, icy, and cold Michigan. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, it is really, okay, it is, I think, very cold. And it's supposed to get really, really cold this coming week. But we did still go outside 3 times today. But we're definitely aquaphoring the kids' cheeks and everything tonight because, like, it's windy cold. And so it's like, I want to say at one point when we went outside, it was like real feel of 19. But like there's like supposed to be like a high of 12 next week. So I don't know how much we'll be going outside, but we go outside a lot. So yeah. Hi, Denise. Welcome. So excited to have you guys all on. It looks like 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get started for the December 2022 online card class. This one uses the Sending Smiles bundle, and I'm so excited. I feel like I was probably like the last one to get this bundle because when I first saw it, I was really intimidated by the like curly cues and stuff and just adhering that on and stuff. But I just saw sample after sample after sample that was just so fabulous. And so I had to get it. And then whenever I went to get it, it was on back order. So then I had to wait even longer. But I'm so excited to do this with all of you guys. And I hope you enjoy it too. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started then. So I am Laura with Laura's Stamp Pad. And I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and have been for over 18 years now, almost 19. That is crazy. And yeah, this is my 1 year anniversary with doing my online card classes. A year ago, whenever I did it, it was actually last Friday, was the one last year. And we had a tornado like in our town during my live. Feel free to rewatch that. You can look at that in the playlist, either on YouTube or on my Facebook. Yeah, I felt like I held it together pretty good. We had no damage. Everyone was safe and everything. But yeah, it was just crazy. My phone was like blowing up next to me, like with like, warning, warning. I'm like, let's just wrap this up. I was already super nervous because it was my first one anyway. But yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm so excited to have you guys on. If you got the online card class packet, you should have received that already. There were a couple packets that were missing 2 sheets of the designer paper. Stampin' Up! Had a crazy influx of orders with demonstrator pre-order this month for the mini catalog. And they also had clearance rack refresh and the end of the mini catalog and just a lot going on, of course, holiday season. So that order isn't going to show up until I think Monday or Tuesday. And so I'm actually doing 2 cards with different designer paper, but I'm super excited about that because then I can show you guys how you can use the same pack of paper and get a different look. So if you didn't get a kit, they are sold out now, but you can still get the PDF download, and that is instant download. So you can go to my Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/LaurasStampPad, and check out all of those. And that has all the measurements, all of the step-by-step tutorial and everything for these cards. So again, we're using the Ascending Smiles stamp set as well as the coordinating dies. And let's get started. So if you are following along and stamping with me tonight, the first one we are doing is the one with the Sweet Sorbet card base. So you can go ahead and fold your card base in half. So again, that was Sweet Sorbet. The designer series paper that I used for this entire class is the Tea Boutique designer paper. But the funny thing is I did not use anything that looks like tea out of the entire set. All of it is like the backside that just has general prints. So it's super fun to be able to see that like a designer paper pack that you might not like think twice about. You might be like, meh, what do I need, you know, cups of tea for or something. But these cards are super fabulous and have a lot of great prints. So then we're just going to go ahead and add our Petal Pink designer paper right in the center. And it does go like top to bottom. And just in the center, same edges here. And then we have, for the main like focal point here, I used the deckled rectangles. So I want to show you those. I think I have them sitting here still. Yes. So that's these here. And I used the second, let me double check, the third one from the smallest. So I used the third from the smallest, and one of the other cards uses the fourth from the smallest. So if you have the deckled rectangles, you can get those out and use those. If you have like a scallop rectangle, or if you have the stitched scallop dies, or if you just want to die cut, or I'm sorry, to just cut a rectangle, you simply can do that too. These deckled dies just have very subtle, like, I don't know, rusticy antique edge. Yes, the deckled dies are still available. So you can see it's just like a very small, I don't know, rippled edge. Like it almost just looks like antique-y and worn or something like that. So yeah, for this card, I actually used the fourth from the smallest. And the other card, I used the third from the smallest. Yes, that's correct. So I have that piece, and that's what we're going to stamp our stems on in Parakeet Party. Yes, it does kind of look like a tear edge. It's very small, like it's not like a super distinct tear edge, but just a very like light tear. And the greenery that we're going to use is the smaller one. So there is a bigger one and a smaller one. Here's the bigger one. Here's the smaller one. So we're going to use the smaller one in Parakeet Party. And we just want to stamp these to where they're just a little offset. So one's a little higher and one's a little lower. Just like that. That one's probably a little too high, but it'll be okay. And then, let's see, we're done with, oh wait, I think I did the inside. I did. And you know what, while we're at it, we should do our envelope. So now we can set that aside. And I'm going to get out Sweet Sorbet and our little flower and some of the scrap white. So we need 2 flowers to die cut. And then 1 for our envelope and 1 for the inside of the card. And the topper for this, you can see, is this one here. So it sort of like looks like a little like half circle with like a skirt versus an oval and a dot. The oval goes in that flower, the dot goes in the small flower, and this one goes here. And I'm stamping that in Memento Black. Okay, so now we have our envelope all done and fabulous. And we have the inside of our card all done and fabulous. And then we're going to die cut out those 2 flowers with the coordinating die. So I'm gonna bring in my little mini that I absolutely love. It's just so handy and fabulous. So let me know where the rest of you guys are and what your weather's like. Is it super cold? Did you get hit by that crazy winter storm this week? Or do you live down south and you're still basking in the sun? I'm so jealous. Okay, and I'm just putting like a little mini Post-it note to help hold the die in place. And run it through. Also, let me know, are you guys ready for Christmas? Or are you entering panic zone? I am ready for Christmas, but I'm also entering panic zone because the kids are done with school. And it's also going to be super cold, so it's not like we're going outside a lot, at least. I almost think, like, might as well snow so that it'll give us, like, an activity to, like, bundle up and go play in the snow. So, yeah, lots of indoor activities next week. Let's hope we don't all lose our mind. Okay, so now I'm going to add this piece to the card front, and I'm doing that with regular adhesive because I'm going to pop up the flowers on dimensionals. So that's just going to kind of go like centered. I actually lowered it a smidge for the sending since my flowers are stamped so high. And then we're going to add the flowers with dimensionals. So I'm going to add 2 dimensionals. Probably could have gotten away with 1, but you guys all know me. I'm a dimensional overuser, so there you have that. And you can kind of angle your flowers as you wish. And you can even like lower it a little bit more onto that stem just so that they're offset. I think I lowered that one a little bit too much, which then I needed to lower that one down farther. But as long as the stem's not poking out of the top, then you're fine. Okay, and then for the sending, the die cuts for this, there's like the big bubble sending, and then there's like the detailed, intricate sending. And those, of course, layer together. Not like for die cutting, but whenever the die cut image does. So this one is like the thin, detailed sending. And then this one's like the bubble sending. And I want the bubble sending. So I already actually die cut that in basic white. I did this for my class this way, the in-person class, because I didn't want to do a ton of die cutting at the class. So I want to show you one of the things that I do. If you're stamping a lot, or if you hate having your die move on you while you're die cutting, then what I do is I actually die cut it and then put it on my Stamparatus. So what I do is I put my greeting down, I stamp my greeting down, then I take the reverse image of the die cut and put it over that stamped image and line it up nice and perfectly, and then secure it. So I have my my magnet and everything. I also added a little bit of adhesive to the Starry Sky die, or the Starry Sky cardstock. So now I can take my die cut basic white, pop it in like a puzzle piece, and then now I can stamp it and it's going to be lined up perfectly. So whether you're like doing multiples, or you don't like whenever your die moves on you, or you just prefer it this way, that's a great way to be able to die cut first, stamp second. And there we have that fabulous die cut. And sometimes it doesn't want to come out. So I take my take your pick tool and the putty tip and just like pick it out. Well, I will say my putty needs to be refreshed. I'm just going to pull off all of that putty and turn this a little bit. There we go. And so that's how you do that. I know I have a ton of stampers who absolutely love the Stamparatus and use it for a lot of their stamping. So I always kind of like to bring that in. For the most part, I usually only use my Stamparatus for like two-step stamping, or like multiple step stamping. But I've started using it more for things like that, just because it makes it a lot easier. And then I'm just adding dimensionals to the back of this greeting. These are the little minis. And then we'll add this to the background. I thought I would go festive and wear my Christmas shirt, but it's also kind of like PJs too, so that makes it even more comfy. So we're just gonna do sending. I thought about angling it, but then I decided against that. And then for the bottom greeting, I always just have oodles and oodles of these little 1/2-inch strips, so it's okay if I make mistakes on this too. But I also want to show you, this one says love and big hugs across the miles. So what it actually is smiles across the miles and love and big hugs. But you can mix and match any of these to create whatever greeting you would like. And I really like the love and big hugs across the miles. So what I did is I have across the miles, smiles across the miles. Smiles isn't even all the way on the block. But if you just ink up across the miles, then it automatically omits that. But you also, since you are cutting these with like that angle, you can also just chop off smile. Love and big hugs. I am so impressed at how well I stamped both of those on the first time. Because let me tell you, my original, I think it took me like 4 times. And then we're just going to do an angled cut. I really wanted to flip it over, but I wanted to kind of stay with the same like angle each time so that I wouldn't be too far off. So that's why I kind of kept going like that. And then I'm just going to actually use the border from this set of mini glue or mini dimensionals. And so we'll add sending. And I'm actually going to like kind of cover up the fact that that stem is hanging. So we're going to do sending love and big hugs. Whoop, upside down. Across the miles. And then I can finish it off. I used, some of mine I used the iridescent rhinestones. But you could also use just regular rhinestones, which I am running low on. So this one I am going to do, whoop, the putty tip did come out really good. We'll do, oh, I actually did 5 on this one. There's one like hiding up in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there we go. So I don't know. I actually think for this one, I like the iridescent ones a little bit better. Because like they're a little less silvery and they blend in with the petal pink, I feel like, a little bit more. So what do you guys think? Do you like regular rhinestones or the iridescent rhinestones better? That is card number 1. Like I said, there's the envelope and the inside. Super, super cute. 42 degrees in Texas. Now that's cold for Texas, isn't it? Oh yeah, you better bundle up when you go to Colorado. Yes, petal pink and sweet sorbet are really, really, really pretty together. Okay, so that is card number 1. And I can put away my sweet sorbet because I don't need it. And I definitely don't need red fingers. Okay, so the next card that I'm going to do. Hi, babe. Would you like to say hi to our friends?
I'm actually here to make cards with you.
You're here to make cards with me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so now for card number 2, we are going to create this card. Do you like it?
Can I have a seat?
Down there. I think there's a piece of white in that pile there.
This?
Mm-hmm.
This piece?
Yep.
This one?
No.
That one at the bottom? Is it there?
Here, this one.
That one.
That's the one we just made. There you go. Okay, so for this one...
Mommy, you don't have to get a cake. But can you help me?
We have our thick basic white, and we're just going to go ahead and fold that in half. Let me move this one over. This is one of them that I actually am using a different color of pattern paper. Denise is saying hello and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I'm saying Merry Christmas back.
Okay. You can just push those out of the way.
These?
Yep.
Okay.
So for this one, I'm sticking to those same colors of Parakeet Party and Tahitian Tide, but I'm going to use this striped Parakeet Party for the background.
Hi.
And tell Denise Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You can tell everyone Merry Christmas too.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Okay, fold your cardstock in half. So there we have that instead of Tahitian tied polka dots. Then we're gonna do parakeet party stripes. And then now we're going to stamp and build our entire flower bouquet. But I have some tips on what items to stamp first so that your flowers aren't falling off of your card. Because like if you stamp the stem first and then you realize that the flower is going to fall off the top or the side, or you know, you stamp it too far to the left or to the right or something like that.
I'm gonna make 2.
Okay, and then put this on.
This?
Mm-hmm. Here.
This.
There you go. Put that on.
Like this?
Yep. So we want to get our big stem and our parakeet party. And then we also want to get the small stem as well as our
Mommy,
big,
I did it.
our big and small flowers.
Big and small flower.
So the first thing that you actually want to stamp is this big flower. That's actually the first one. Not the stem, even though you might be tempted.
Look.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Tahitian tied and I'm going to stamp it in, like, there's nothing else on this flower. Like, we're not doing the sending up high. So we really want that flower to be like up fairly high and off to the right, off to the left, just a hair. So I'm going to stamp that one first.
Mommy, I did it.
Stamp that on the top of your stem. And then we're going to stamp our large stem. Making sure that that first flower...
Mommy, I did it.
You sure did. That first flower is on the stem. And then now we can stamp the second flower, the little one,
Mommy,
on
I
here.
did it.
And then we can also stamp this flower off to the side for the other greenery. And then we can stamp the small greenery matching up with that flower.
Did I do good?
Yep, you lined it up really well.
Not this one, Mommy.
I know. Here, want to show everyone? Okay, now glue that to the inside of your card and then you're all set. I lost my stem. Oh, there it is. So now we can stamp this one. Now I will say, I'm actually going to stamp this. I don't think you guys can tell. Go ahead and add that to the inside of your card. Here's the adhesive. But it looks like I didn't clean off the small one. And so it has like a hint of red in it, or like pink almost. Again, I feel like it's not catching on camera. So like you guys probably all think I'm crazy. But yeah, I'm totally gonna do this one again because I don't think that that stamp was completely clean. So we're gonna stamp the large flower.
Mommy, can I see the card you already made over there? Okay. Inside.
And then this one I'm gonna clean before I stamp again.
I did it.
Good job. You're all set.
Can I do the other one?
Mommy's gotta get going on the cards, okay?
Can I do the second card?
No, I don't have any more for this one cut.
If there's any more paper in my bucket.
Why don't we go eat our snack and then we can come check in one more time?
Okay. Now the colors are a little bit better. A little bit more Tahitian tied and a little less pinky blue purple. Okay. And then I did the centers of the flowers in crushed curry. The squeakiness of the ink pads always gets me. There's that one. And then I swear this stamp scares me. It's so little, I'm afraid I'm going to lose it. Like, it's just this little bitty dot. I feel like it's going to get pushed right off of a clear block and stick to something, and it's gone. Oh, no, I didn't stamp on this one on the inside. But I do think I'm going to add one to the envelope. Okay. So now we can add this to our card front. And we also have little additional strips of the designer paper to decorate the inside of the card. And you can really decorate with those as much as you want. These are just like little leftover pieces after die cutting for the card front. And I always just find like cutting them into strips or just adding a little bit to the inside helps kind of bring the whole card together with that same pattern and kind of decorates it a little bit. So you could always stamp a greeting, stamp the flower, stamp whatever you want on the inside, or you can always add a little bit of your scrap designer series paper. And then for this one, I went ahead and I already die cut out the greetings. So I did Tahitian Tide, I did with that big bubble greeting. And then I did the second one with that like detailed greeting in basic white. So one of the things that I want to share with you about that though is I used adhesive sheets. So if you got your packet, you got adhesive sheets in your packet. So I like to use, these are adhesive sheets. This is like there's a piece missing here and here. So it does come quite large and like in 3 sections. I'm glad you like the cards for, or the colors for all of these, Denise. Yeah, I love, most of like the designs for the colors came from the designer series paper pack. And I just kind of bounced around with a lot of those, which I use designer series paper to help me with color options the most. I don't feel like I'm the best at picking colors. Otherwise, I just gravitate to the same ones all the time. But anyway, I took my adhesive sheet and I'm going to show you a piece of it on colored cardstock so you can see it better. Maybe. I thought I had some colored cardstock here with it on there. Well, okay, so I just took a piece of white and I took my adhesive sheet, lined it up, and I usually like to cut a little bit less than my image. So here is my image, which doesn't even fit on this piece. Okay, so here is my image and here is my adhesive sheet. So it's smaller than my image. So I know it's like white on white, so it really doesn't show very well. You think it would be better if the strips were wider? I actually cut the strips down a lot. So I cut them down because I don't like to use a lot of it and I don't like to waste it, which is why I never used adhesive sheets in the first place, because I was like, it's such a waste. So I always go like smaller. Like you can see it covers the majority of the greeting, which is going to stick it onto my project just fine. It doesn't need to have adhesive like from head to toe every single spot. So then when you die cut that out, again, you probably can't see, but it like stops up here and over there, but it goes all the way through the greeting. So you'll die cut that together, and then now I'm just going to peel off that adhesive sheet and it becomes a sticker. Again, I do another one of these in colored cardstock, and I think you might be able to see it better on that sample. But I'm not sure where that is. So we'll just have to get to that card when we get to that card. Okay. Oh, the letter E. So now we're going to peel off our adhesive sheet. I will say white on white is difficult. And I don't know why this one is coming off like in bits. Okay, I think I got all of it. And then now we're just going to layer this on. And I will be honest, on this card, I have no clue where my dot for my eye went. So I just added a jewel to the eye and didn't even worry about it. Now, the next card I did when I made the sample, I saw the eye, like the little dot, and so I kept it and I went ahead and added it in. So if you don't have the eye die cut and it doesn't, like you have no clue where it went because it's so little, then you can always add a jewel there, and then it kind of takes care of all of that for you. So now we are going to go ahead and add dimensionals to the back of our greeting. Hello from Australia. How exciting. That little mini pack is all out. Oh, here's another one, I think. Which, let's see, if it's our winter here, then that means it's your summer there. So tell me all about your warm weather. So I can imagine that it's summer here again. Yes, there is no way I would glue this greeting on any other way. Like you could always use the fine tip glue pen, but I am not the best with liquid glue. I tend to overuse it and then it squishes out the side and kind of becomes a mess. So it's not, like liquid glue is not my favorite. And I guarantee that if it wasn't for adhesive sheets, I totally would not get this set because it would just be too stressful for me. So we're just going to add this like that. Oh no, I have a little dimensional back that wanted to stick. And then I'm going to use one of the long labels. So there's 2 sizes of labels with this die set. There's the short one and the long one. So big and small or short and long. And this one I used the long one. Again, depending on the greeting that you wish to use for this card, then you could always use the short one. So that's all up to you. I did sunshine to brighten your day. So let's go ahead and pull these off. And I'm going to stamp that in the Tahitian Tide. Glad that came out okay. I always get a little nervous on camera that I'm going to mess up. Hi, Karen. How are you guys doing? I know your weather is really bad. You are loving the colors of this one too? I'm glad you guys are loving these colors so much. And then for this one, I actually took Tahitian tied Stampin' blends and colored my rhinestones. So here I just have some rhinestones. And you can use the light or the dark. It doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to add a little bit of color to these rhinestones to make them blue. And then don't forget, I'm adding one of these to my eye. And then just adding the others to my card. And I totally just put my hand in the ink pad. Right there. I felt it like cold and wet and I was like, oops. Okay, so what do you guys think? I didn't have any more of the Tahitian tied designer paper, so I used the Parakeet Party and I love it. Like, I think it's not as bold and bright as the Tahitian tied. I feel like, you know, it's a little bit more subtle or just not as like stand out, contrasty. I don't know the word I'm trying to think of for all of this. But yeah, I still think it looks really great. And it's awesome that in that same paper pack that you can use different prints and get that same card. And then, of course, we have our envelope to go with it for card number 2. Love it. I'll show you the inside of this one too. Just has those polka dot strips. So this is card number 2. Here is card number 1. So you can cast your vote on whether you like card number 1 or card number 2 better. You're having extended winter? Well, I feel for you because I know once spring is coming, I'm like, bring it on. Let's do this. And then, you know, we get like one more round of winter weather and I'm like, ew, no. So I definitely feel for you in having extended winter. Okay. So our next one, if you're stamping along with the card kit, then that would be the Starry Sky. And this one, we're just going to go ahead and fold that Starry Sky card base in half. Again, I am all out of the card kits for this one, but you can still download the PDF tutorial off of my Etsy shop and get all the measurements and step-by-step directions and everything for this card class. So you can see there's a link in the description, but you can also go to etsy.com/shop/LaurasStampPad. Okay, so first we're going to start with our Parakeet Party strip. That is the first layer. And it's like off to the left just a little bit. And it goes flush with the top and bottom of the card. And then just a little bit in from the left-hand side. And then next I'm doing the 2 strips of designer paper. See, the back side is all this Tea Boutique stuff that I did not use. I'm going to do this one with this one on top just to be different from the other one. Okay, and those just go like about in the center. No rhyme or reason to it. And then we have, this is, like I said, I use the deckled rectangles. You could always use any label of your choice, or you could use just regular rectangle piece of cardstock. And this is the smaller one. Oh, wait, here they are. I buried it. So this one is the 3rd smallest of the deckled rectangles dies. And with this one, I went ahead and I stamped my flower first in Starry Sky ink. And did that towards the top. And then we're also going to do our envelope. And I forgot what I did for the inside of this one. Ooh, I did 2 more. Oh no, Colleen. Lost me for a little bit. I actually made sure to have my phone nice and charged so I can see the comments on both, because I almost always have it die before the end. And so I was super proud of myself for remembering to plug that in. So I'm going to stamp this once in full strength, and then I'm just going to stamp it again to get that lighter shade of purple, just to mix it up a little bit. And then the center, I actually did all stamped off. So I stamped off once on my grid paper, and then in the middle of the flower, and then in the middle of the flower. So for this one, it's stamp 2 and stamp 3. For the big flower, it's stamp 1 and stamp 2. So for the card front, stamp off once and then stamp. For the envelope, stamp off once and then stamp. So you just get that like light variation in color where it's just a hair lighter. And then we are stamping the greenery, the small greenery one, with our parakeet party. And I did full strength for both the stems, just because I didn't want, like I want the flower to have a variation in color. I didn't really want the stem. So there's the front, the inside, and our envelope. So we can go ahead and adhere the inside. I always recommend stamping first and then adhering it, because if you ever make a mistake, then you can always flip it over. Thank goodness there's 2 sides to every piece of cardstock. The other thing is like if I ever fall off my cardstock like I did here, I wouldn't be falling off onto my card base. I'm falling off onto my grid paper. Okay, so then we're just going to take that piece of Orchid Oasis and line it up behind our flower. So it's not actually going to like go all the way around. It's really just going to peek out in the top and in the bottom. So just a little down here and a little up there. And then now I'm going to add that to my card front with Stampin' Dimensionals. I feel like I don't have any in the middle, and it kind of makes me nervous. Like I need to add some in the middle, but I also know I'm an overuser. Would you add some in the middle or not? I'm going to do it. I'm actually just going to cut a piece of this
Mommy,
and put it down the center. Hi, babe. And then this is just going to go
I'm here.
right here.
So
Let me get the green card down there.
what green card?
And there's that. And then now for this one, we're going to do a small greeting. So like I said, there is a large label and a small label, and I have the small label for this one because I'm just going to do a note of thanks. Oop, that's a card to say hello.
Here, Mommy.
A note of thanks. This one right here.
Do I have to fold it?
Mm-hmm.
Fold that.
bit soon.
Perfect. I like to use the outside border of my dimensionals whenever I have like a long, skinny greeting or like a big greeting that I kind of really want to do like more than just spotty dimensionals, but really get all around. Good job on using the bone folder. And then we're just going to add this down in the corner and add a few rhinestones. So,
Mommy, does it look good?
mm-hmm. Oh, where'd my rhinestones go?
The rhinestones are...
Oh, here they are. We'll use the iridescent rhinestones again, but my original actually uses regular rhinestones.
I'm scrubbing everything. Even you.
Okay, come on. Come on.
But what about this?
Okay,
What do I have to do?
stamp a flower on this.
Stamp a flower.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy, like
Here.
one of those flowers.
Yep.
I want to make a stem.
Stamp the flower first. Okay, that is card number 3.
I did it.
And,
No, this is a stem.
yep, that's your stem. And where's the green ink?
Green.
So this is card number 3. Like I said, I used the iridescent rhinestones for this one on today's sample.
Mom, it's too small.
Oh, that's okay. We'll fix it by just adding a little extra stem
No, we can use this one.
up there. There we go.
Perfect.
Okay,
Good, come on.
all done.
Oh. But now I have to do...
Okay, you're all done, babe.
Oh,
Put that on the inside of your card. Or on the card front. There you go.
on the card front.
Mm-hmm.
I did it.
Good job. Show everyone.
But I didn't even look like that.
Oh, that's because this is a different one. You did the next card.
Yeah, you got to,
Okay.
You got to jump ahead.
Night-night, baby. I love you.
Let's go get some
Tell everyone night-night. So again, this is card number 3. Let me know if you guys like the regular rhinestones or the iridescent rhinestones, or if you can even tell. You're an overuser too. I love it, Colleen. Thank you. I'm glad. Now I don't feel bad for using some in the middle as well. So that is card 3. Here is card 2. And here is card 1. Let me know which one your favorite is so far. And we will get started on card number 4. I should put these back in that same order. Otherwise, I'm going to be like, I don't remember what 1, 2, 3, and 4 was. Okay. Card number 4 is the garden green card that she was creating. A big shout out to Denise. I know you are on, and I just want to say I absolutely fell in love with this card. Denise shared this card with me, and I had to recreate it. So it is just absolutely stunning. I think it was also one of my favorites at the in-person card class. Everyone loved this card as well. So Denise, you're amazing, and I loved your sample. Thank you so very much for sharing this with me. Again, this is one of them that I ran out of the designer paper, and I'm still waiting for mine to arrive on Monday. So close, but didn't arrive in time. So I'm actually going to do a different print on this one, and we will see if you guys like that one better or if you prefer the original. So let's get started on this one. This is the garden green card. We're going to go ahead and fold our garden green in half. Also, thank you guys all for being patient when Claire comes down here a million times. Not my preference, but it's bedtime, and that's life with a, I don't know, she's technically a preschooler now, not a toddler anymore. But yeah, crazy. Sometimes she like hardly ever comes down. Sometimes she just says, good night, and off she goes. And then now she's started wanting to stamp. Whoo, it's crazy. Okay, so this designer paper, I gave an 1/8 of an inch border. So very small border. So just take that into consideration whenever you go to put your designer paper on your card front, that there's a very small border rather than the typical 1/4 inch. So that piece is going to go on there. And then I have a piece for the inside that goes on the basic white, just on the left-hand side. And then this is going to go on the inside of the card. And again, you could always stamp a flower, stamp a greeting, or anything like that on the inside. Or you can always decorate with that designer paper. Okay, and then where did my white piece go? Oh no. Ooh, I wonder if she had a piece of white in her packet, which it does not look like she does. That's okay. I will just cut a new one. Apparently I didn't have white inside mine, but that's okay. So the white goes over the starry sky. And it is 2 5/8. Yeah, 2 5/8. Again, I normally don't do 8ths, but I don't know. Every once in a while, I'm like, I just want a small border. And then sometimes I'm like, I want a huge border. So yeah, it just kind of depends. What do you guys do? 1/4s, 8ths, halves? Yes, got that one right. Thank goodness. Okay, so we're going to add our starry sky. Normally I work on 1/4s just because that's my sanity. Aw, Denise, you're the sweetest. Thank you so much. I'm inspired by people like you. So we're going to stamp the big stem. And this time we're actually using Garden Green ink rather than Parakeet Party. So we kind of flipped over to the other green. And, oh no, I forgot. I should have told you guys to stamp the greeting first. So we're going to stamp birthday wishes down in the corner. I thought of that just as I looked up at the greeting or at the sample in front of me. So you want to stamp your greeting of birthday wishes first down in the corner. That way your stem is not getting in the way of that birthday wishes. There we go. And, oh, we'll do the envelope. I thought I was going to angle it to get rid of this little one, but I couldn't quite do that without putting that one really close to the edge. So, and like I said, normally I would have you stamp the flower first, just so that your placement is okay. Like, for example, if this was too far to the edge, my flower would have been falling off. But we're actually die cutting the flower, which is why I did the greenery first on this. So we're going to stamp the big and the little flower. and then die cut them both out. So I stamped them in Fresh Freesia and then did the centers in Starry Sky. So there's Fresh Freesia, and I think I can fit the little one. Oh, and then I still need to do my envelope. See, this one might fall off a little. As long as the main one is on, though, I'm okay with it. And the centers are done in Starry Sky. I don't know. I'm just loving the envelope. Like, I'm done. The envelope is good. How crazy is that? Okay, so now we're going to die cut these out with the coordinating die. So this is another one that for my in-person class. Oh no. I dropped it. And oh, there it is. And I have no clue where it bounced to. For my in-person class, I actually die cut a whole bunch of the white flowers. And then I did that same trick on the Stamparatus where we like puzzle pieced them in and stamped them together as one. I'm like messing up my entire stamping surface. Oh my gosh, that's so hilarious, Denise. I love it. Normally a quarter, but whenever you do an eighth, then you ask yourself what you were thinking. That's pretty much how I feel too. Like every once in a while, I'm like, oh, let's do an eighth. It'll look so cool. And then I do it. And then whenever I go to cut my cardstock and I'm like, eighth, wait, 1, 2. Like I always have to count on the ruler, like, 5 eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm like, why did you do this? Why are you making it harder on yourself? And like, I can do 1/8 and I can do 7/8, but like, whenever it's like 3 and 5, I'm like, oh. But I will also show you my Stamparatus because I still have it sitting here from the class. So we were able to put both of those in there and then use the outline. And so I would just puzzle piece that in and I could stamp both the big and the small flower at the same time for the stamp class in person. So again, if you want, the other thing that I kind of like about doing that is I can use up like a lot of scraps. Hold on, let me show you guys that again. I see that there's like a big glare. So there, I'll show that while I finish talking. I like to use up a lot of scraps where I'm die cutting the flowers like close together. Rather than like whenever I stamp and die cut, I usually like leave a decent amount of space because I don't want to make it too close or too far or anything like that. So by die cutting them early, I was able to like use up a lot of scrap basic white too, which I have tons of. Yes, sometimes just a little border is like super fabulous, and that's why I do it as well. Like you just want like a little pop of color, and sometimes you really want a bold pop of color. Okay, so this flower there, and the little flower here. And then now we can add this to our card front. Yeah, never take apart my cards because you'll always see mistakes on the back side. Come on, I'm not the only one that does that, right? There's two sides to every piece of paper. Like, shouldn't we, like, use them both? Then if you make a mistake, it's okay. Okay, and so now we have our sending. So I die cut the big sending in Starry Sky. And I'm going to add that to our card front with dimensionals. Various little pieces of the border. These are very, like the backing is very staticky. Okay. And then we're just going to add this to our card. And then you can see here on this one where I added that adhesive tape. You can see like it's just like a strip right here. Like it's not all the way on the G, it's not all the way on the D, and it's partially not on the S. But that's okay. It doesn't need to cover the entire piece. It just needs to cover the majority. And then that way I'm not wasting a whole bunch of extra adhesive tape on parts that like aren't being die cut. Because see, if you went like all the way up to the top, there's like all of this that's not actually being used. And I will also say when pulling this adhesive tape off, you don't really want to pull it off in like one full swoop, as it kind of then makes your sending greeting like get a little distorted and pulled apart. So you kind of want to like slowly pull it so that it holds the shape of your sending. And I also love that like because it's like an adhesive tape, it's not like if there was like a liquid glue, it'd be getting like all over my fingers and then I'd be touching it and it would be everywhere. Whereas the adhesive tape is sticky, but like it also pulls off of my fingers, and it's not like creating, you know, goo everywhere, if you will. Okay, so I don't actually have a letter I for this one. So what you could do, if you wanted, is run that sending back through to get just the I. And I'm actually going to do it on a little piece that I popped out from, this is like the middle of the G, and it has adhesive tape on it. And so I'm just going to put that on there and die cut this piece again to get the eye. The only reason why I didn't really want to use a jewel on this one is because I went with the brass butterflies. And I didn't really want to put a butterfly there. And I didn't want to put like a different jewel and then have a different jewel and butterflies. And so I really wanted the eye on this one. So I also had one of the girls use like the inside of the E. The piece that she popped out for the E, she used there. It's a little bit like elongated, but it still worked. Okay, so it's actually still in there, and I'm going to show you. I'm taking my Take Your Pick tool, and I plucked it out of there, and now I'm just going to turn it over on the Take Your Pick tool, and then peel off the backing, and then it's still on the putty tip of my Take Your Pick tool, and press. Nailed it. And there I have the letter I. Thank goodness for adhesive tape. Thank goodness for the Take Your Pick tool. It's amazing. And then now we're going to add a few of those brass butterflies. Wherever they went. Oh, right here. Just like that. And then, of course, we have our envelope here. So this is card number 4. Let me know which one you guys like better. Do you like the original with that floral, more white print? Or do you like it better with the more detailed greenery and floral print? I don't know. I like, I don't know, the, this one, like, I absolutely love it. And it's a lot more, like, not as tight together. But I also feel like this one, the center pops a little bit more because it's so white with a busy background. Whereas this one is like, there's a lot of white everywhere. So yeah, let me know. Do you guys like the original? Or do you like tonight's version? But it just goes to show that the same designer series paper pack, you can use different prints in there with the same card to achieve a very similar look. So this is card number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1. Oh, I'm glad you think so, Colleen. That is so good to hear. And like I said, it just goes to show, like, I was super freaking out that I didn't have enough of the designer paper. And I thought, no, let's just roll with this, try another print, and show off the fact that you can use multiple prints in the designer series paper pack and achieve that same fabulous look. Okay, and I honestly think it's amazing. Like, I'm really happy with how the samples turned out. And yeah, like, I would totally use either of those for both of those cards that we switched it up. You like the original, Denise, with the less print? Both are lovely. Thank you. Thank you. So this is the final card. This one is probably the one that uses the most tea boutique look because it has the lemons. And it also doesn't use the flower from the Sending Smiles bundle. It does use the greeting and the die. But I'm going to show you how we created this stunning lattice look. And it's really not that hard. So go ahead and fold your basic white card base in half. And then we can layer together. I know, I love lemons. I want to do my entire kitchen in lemons. Not that there's really any sort of like design to my kitchen, but like I really like the yellow and green. Like I'd probably focus a little bit more on green on like my towels and stuff. I used to have green towels in my old kitchen. And then I got some new towels and they're blue and gray. Not that that really matters, but I like lemon scent. I like that bold, like crisp look of a lemon. If I didn't have kids and a messy countertop, I would have like lemons, like fake lemons in a bowl as like a little decoration. Now my decoration is the latest kid project or papers from school or stuff like that. I'll miss it someday, right? That's what they say. Okay, so I layered my garden green and my crushed curry and put them on the left side of my card front. And then we have a piece of basic white, and it's scored at every inch. So I don't know how well you can see this, but it's scored at 1 inch, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's a last ½ inch on the bottom. So we want that ½ inch to be on the bottom of our piece. And then we're going to take our strips of designer paper. I have lemon strips and I have yellow strips. So there's like this yellow pattern, and then there's the lemon pattern. The back side is like the little envelopes and flowers, and then some purple. And what we're going to do is we're going to start. I have like two, so you can kind of like see and hear at the same time, if that makes sense. So we're going to start at the top corner. So I'm going to angle this in my right hand, and the top corner is going to line up with the top corner of our basic white, and the edge is going to go to that first score line. So like you can see, let me almost, I just want to use a pen. I don't want to use a Sharpie marker. So let's see, there's a score line here and here and here and here and here. Okay. So we went from the corner, and this is the back side, so you can see those lines. We went from the corner to the top of that score line. And then again, we went from this score line corner to the top of the next score line corner. I hope that makes sense. So we went from here, and then like right here is the score line. And then we're just going to trim off the extra and do that again. Go from this score line to the top of the score line here and trim off. And that gets you that same angled look all the way. Like otherwise, you know, like one might be a little too wide and one might be a little too skinny, and, you know, whatever that might be. Oh, that one hardly, I didn't put enough adhesive on this one. So I'm going to snatch it off and use it on this card. And I always flip it over and use the paper as a guide to trim. And then we need one more. And all of those are just lemons. So yeah, ask questions. If this doesn't make sense, then definitely ask questions so that I can explain this better. Or if it's like, yeah, I totally get it, then that's awesome. or just tell me you totally get it so that I know. So you can see that there's this score line down here at the bottom, but that's okay because when we come back diagonal, it's going to cover that up and you won't have a problem with that at all. So we went from top corner to the score line is at the top of the designer paper. From the score line is at the corner to the top of the designer paper, score line, score line, score line, here, okay, and went all the way down. And now we're going to do that same thing going in the other direction. So we're going to go with the top corner to the score line. And it also like overlaps with the other one. So that's another way to kind of know that you're doing it right. And it kind of uses like 2.5 strips, I think was how I counted on how much it would use to go all the way down and across. That one I felt like it, as I angled it, it pulled in a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. And see, it covers up that score line. So you don't have to worry about any of your score lines showing up because they're all covered up with these strips. So like you can see where my score lines are on the back and how they all like intersect. So yeah, I hope that all made sense. And if it doesn't, then give me a shout out and say, I don't get it, because that's perfectly fine. It is kind of confusing. And then when you have that all done and trimmed off, then you can go ahead and add that to your card front in the middle of that crushed curry. And then I used one of the small greetings, and I used the greeting a card to say hello. And that's this one here. And we're stamping this one in garden green. Perfect. And then, of course, adding this to my card front with dimensionals. And again, you could always use whatever greeting you like the best. Oop, that's a little crooked. That's okay. There, I squished it a little bit better. And then I added a little decoration of one of the lemons. So you can just kind of fussy cut out whatever little lemon cluster you would like. You could do as much as you want. You could include a lot of little flowers, or you could omit them. Kind of depends on how much you like to fussy cut. Raise your hand if you enjoy fussy cutting. not only am I currently fussy cutting, but I'm also not raising my hand. It's not my favorite. I do it every once in a while for like a cute little project, but I definitely wouldn't do it for multiples. And I always just kind of do like a loose fussy cut where I just do rounded edges with some white around it, rather than like a detailed, like really close fussy cut. And then we're just going to add, oop, he's not all the way on the paper. Just going to add that right there. And just because I want to live on the edge, I'm actually going to fussy cut out one more for a decoration on the inside. That one's a little too close to the edge. Ooh, right into the ink pad. It's okay, it was on the back side. So this little one, you'll fussy cut, but it's not a favorite. Yeah. I mean, I'll do it. Like I said, every once in a while I'm like, it's super cute, I have to. But it's not a favorite of mine at all. And then we're just going to finish this off with a few rhinestones. And I don't have anything for the envelope on this one because I don't have a lemon. We could always just stamp. I'm going to stamp just the hello. Just so we don't have a naked envelope. So I'm just going to stamp a cute little hello down in the corner. It's so adorable. Hello. I love it. So this is card number 5, the little lattice card with the lemons. This is the 5th and final card. So now you can officially cast your vote on which card you enjoyed the most with the Sending Smiles October. Oh, geez. It's late. December 2022, the final card class of the year. This is the lemons, card number 5. This is card number 4, 3, 2, and 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this card class. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like and share it, and I appreciate you guys all getting on and chatting with me. Again, you can always check out all of my PDF tutorials for this class and all 12 other classes that I did this year on my Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/LaurasStampPad. There's also a link in the description, so you can check that out down there. There's also a link to get the Sending Smiles bundle. If you don't have it yet, then you definitely want to add this to your collection because it is super, super fabulous. As I said, this is the last card class that I have in 2022. So crazy to say. And lots of new stuff coming in 2023, including the new mini catalog that starts on January 5th, as well as Celebration that also starts on January 5th. If you would like a copy of this catalog, then I can definitely mail you one. So leave me a comment in the comments that just says, send me a catalog. Or you can message me your address on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, then you can always go to LaurasStampPad.com, or you can message me directly on YouTube as well. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this. I can't wait to stamp with you in 2023. And I can't wait to share with you guys all these amazing products that are coming out on January 5th as well. You like number 3 and number 4? Oh, how fabulous. Thank you, thank you. You like number 4? Like them all? Like card 2? Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm so glad you guys loved this class. Merry Christmas to all of you guys. If you don't celebrate Christmas, that's fine. Happy holidays to you. I'm just wishing you guys all the best this holiday season. Love, hugs, and prayers to all of you guys. You mean so much to me. I appreciate everything, all the comments, likes, shares, reaching out to me. You guys mean so much to me, and I appreciate it. So love, hugs, and prayers to all of you guys. See you in 2023. Happy holidays. Bye.